Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim is apologizing to a fellow city councillor for claiming, without evidence, that he gave out illegal drugs. But Sim will not explain why he made the claims initially about councillor Sean Orr in the first place.
I spoke with councillor Orr yesterday and I apologize for my comments.
What evidence do you have to make those claims?
You know, I called Sean Orr, or councillor Orr, yesterday, and I did apologize for my comments. So,
where do those comments come from?
Like I said, you know, I called councillor Orr, and I did apologize for those comments.
Don't you believe it's irresponsible, though, as a leader to say those comments without actually fact-checking them?
Yeah, as a leader, I called Sean Orr, or councillor Orr, and I apologized for my comments.
How'd that mistake happen, Ken?
You know, at the end of the day, I called councillor Orr, and I did apologize for my comments.
Are you just going to repeat the same thing over and over again, though?
You know what? I truly believe that I apologize. Look, I called councillor Orr, and I apologized for my comments.
I'm not sure. Did he apologize? I think that he did apologize.
Almost 20 times he repeated the same thing.
Dan Bird is here now with me to talk a little more about this, help us all understand what has led to this point.
Well, this really was sparked by something that an ally of the mayor did. Councillor Lenny Zhou posted a video to WeChat last week. It's a social media platform. He's a member of Mayor Ken Sim's ruling ABC party. Speaking in Mandarin, Zhou claimed some non-ABC councillors were drug users and were distributing drugs before Christmas. Now, Zhou later apologized, saying his comments were based on incorrect information. And Mayor Sim praised Zhou for saying sorry. But just yesterday, we learned Mayor Sim himself made similar remarks at a media briefing for Chinese-speaking reporters earlier this month, well before Zhou made his video. Have a listen.
We have a councillor, Sean Orr, just this Christmas, he was handing out illegal drugs on Christmas Day to people on the streets.
That video was provided to CBC News by City Omni. Councillor Sean Orr denies the drug allegation, says he wasn't even in Vancouver at Christmas, and calls the comments defamatory. He's considering his legal options. He did say the mayor called him to say sorry.
He said I had false information, and I said, well, what do you mean? Like, who are you getting your advice from? Like Twitter bots? Like, I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Why? Like, you're a mayor of the third largest city in Canada. Are you just like responding to these whisper campaigns? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I told him that. And I also said, politics aside, like man to man, why would you do that to hurt someone?
And today, reporters pressed the mayor numerous ways and numerous times on why he made the comments about Orr in the first place. Mayor Ken Sim said the same thing almost 20 times.
Look, I called councillor Orr, and I apologize for my comments.
But in your comments, you were talking to CBC's Chinese media. We see the microphone of Fairchild, and Councillor Zhou also made this comment specifically in Mandarin.
I don't distinguish between media outlets. Basically, I made a comment and I apologize for my comments. So
but you haven't said that to English media. You're saying one thing in Chinese media, then you're saying another thing to English media. So how do you rectify that?
Well, I think the media here is here today, and I'm telling everyone that I spoke with councillor Orr and I apologize for my comments.
You're just apologizing to Councillor Orr. What about the Chinese community or the audience that were receiving such information?
Yeah. Well, like I said, I apologize for my comments, and so everyone knows that I apologize to councillor Orr.
Okay, it is established. The Vancouver Mayor Ken Sim is sorry. We don't know much more about where the information came from. Listening to Sean Orr in that interview earlier with CBC, I'm wondering what the rest of the councillors are like and what this has done to feelings or good feelings or bad feelings around the table.
Yes, indeed. We have reached out to the other ABC councillors in Ken Sim's party to get their reaction. We heard from Councillor Lucy Maloney, who said she was upset by the comments. Green Party Councillor Pete Fry, who is running for mayor coming up in a few months, says he calls Sim's claims unconscionable. And keep in mind, Sarah, those elections are coming up in October. And last we checked, Mayor Ken Sim was planning to run for re-election, but this has ignited a real anger among many of his non-ABC colleagues, at least on council. Hopefully we get to hear from some of his ABC colleagues to see what they make of his claims, unsubstantiated as they are, and his apology, but he will not explain where that information came from or why he made it in the first place.
And just to be clear, for those watching who are not from Vancouver, when you say ABC in Vancouver, they have run on slates, and one of the slates happens to be ABC. Okay, Dan, thank you.
You're welcome.